These are not things that pregnant women do. And when you're pregnant, there's not a pillow under your skirt.
I need to ask you about Doria's ingestion of while she was pregnant with Meghan.
Okay, pregnant. You don't drink when you are pregnant.
Oh, honey, the royal gossip mill has been in overdrive lately, and let me tell you, it's not just idle chatter anymore. People have whispered for ages that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry might use a surrogate. Most folks rolled their eyes and chalked it up to another crazy internet theory, but baby, things just took a scandalous turn. Word on the street is the palace is done playing coy. Apparently, they've come forward with what they're calling proof that Meghan and Harry didn't conceive their kids the natural way. I mean, what?
Delivery certificates, and I heard stories early on around the time Archie was allegedly in utero and being born. I heard stories that royal staffers were not allowed to see or touch her abdomen.
And if that's true, it just opens a can of royal worms. Like, how exactly were Archie and little Lilibet born? If Meghan didn't carry them herself, who did? Who's this mystery woman? Why has she never been seen or heard from? Was she forced into silence or, gasp, hidden away? It's giving cover-up, and the questions just won't stop.
The idea that a royal physician was not allowed to examine her womb. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but if I were pregnant with a royal child, you would want that child in the best care of the best medical practitioners.
It's honestly overwhelming. Like, if they've kept this major thing hush-hush all this time, what else have they swept under the palace rug? Remember when baby Archie was born? Everyone expected Meghan and Harry to stick to the royal script. You know, the classic royal baby rollout. But nope, they completely went off script. And that's where the plot really thickened.
Sort of an explanation of Meghan just likes to play games with the media, wants to come out on top. And of course, the people who end up suffering the most, I think, are her own children in that.
Let's rewind. When Meghan first broke the pregnancy news, people were ecstatic. It was supposed to be a joyous, glowing fairy tale moment. But from the get-go, the way Meghan and Harry handled it all felt off. Confusing at best, suspicious at worst. Normally, royal births are like clockwork. The palace announces when labor starts, then bam, the baby's arrival. Then we get the iconic hospital photo op. Just like when Kate Middleton dazzled us all outside the Lindo wing, looking like she just walked off a runway, hours after giving birth. But what did Meghan and Harry do? Crickets. No labor announcement, no timely update. And get this, they waited 8 whole hours after Archie was born to even say anything. And when they did release a statement, they claimed Meghan was still in labor when the baby was already here. What? Why lie? Naturally, the public went nuts. Was this just a PR goof, or were they hiding something big? Then Meghan started posting pregnancy pics, and whoa, that's when things really started to unravel. In one picture, her bump was super high. In another, it was way down low. Some bumps were round, others downright lumpy. It was like her belly was playing musical chairs. People began to whisper, is that even a real baby bump or a prop? Some were convinced she was wearing a cushion. And those photos, people swear they were edited to the heavens. They screamed, Photoshop, honey. The goal? To convince us she was actually pregnant. But girl, those inconsistencies, they told a whole other story. And let's not forget, this is the same couple who left the royal family for privacy, right? But instead of peace, they left a trail of public confusion.
I will say that, like a lot of people, I saw the Getty images of the pillow dropping behind the skirt, and I thought at first they could be photoshopped, but Getty images is very reliable.
And that's when the whispers turned into shouts. The surrogate rumors refused to die. Some were adamant Meghan didn't give birth herself. Was there hard proof? No. But between the wacky timelines, the bizarre press statements, and the inconsistencies, people started connecting the dots. And when Archie was finally revealed to the public, there was no grand moment outside the hospital. Nope. They waited 2 days and staged a private photo shoot inside Windsor Castle. It felt more like a press release than a celebration. Only one reporter was invited. The whole thing completely choreographed, no genuine excitement, no awe moment, just control. Compared to William and Kate's very public and joyful baby moments, Meghan and Harry's approach felt like they were hiding something. Even Archie's birth certificate raised eyebrows. When it dropped, folks noticed the usual doctor signatures were missing. That's not normal for a royal birth. And then, surprise, Meghan's full name was yanked off the certificate certificate and replaced with just her royal title. Excuse me? It didn't stop there, darling. Enter Lady Colin Campbell, the royal author who is never afraid to spill the tea. She straight up said, "This whole thing stinks to high heaven." Yikes. She's been demanding the couple come clean. She believes the public deserves to know the truth. And you know what? A lot of people agree. And guess who else joined the party? Samantha Markle, Meghan's estranged half-sister. Oh boy. She spilled some serious tea in an interview with Dan Wooden, saying their dad told her 9 months before Archie was born that Meghan had picked up frozen eggs. Samantha claimed it made sense if a surrogate was involved, but wondered why the secrecy. And then she dropped this bomb. If the kids were born via surrogate, they may not even be in line for the throne, because royal heirs are supposed to be born to a titled royal mother. The drama is real. And let's not forget this twist. At first, everyone was told Meghan would have the baby at home at Frogmore Cottage. But plot twist, Archie was born 20 miles away at Portland Hospital in London. Huh? Why lie about that? Oh, and remember this part? The palace announced Meghan was in labor 7 hours after Archie had already been born. The audacity. Then, in Harry's memoir, Spare, he claimed they were back home at Frogmore just 2 hours after the birth. 2 hours? As a palace insider said, what woman gives birth and is back home in 2 hours? Not unless she didn't deliver that baby herself. And let's not even start on Lilibet. Her birth had its own fog of mystery. She was born at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital in the US, but again, there were zero details. It was ultra private, ultra controlled. The secrecy continued. Lady Colin Campbell is still pushing hard for answers. She wants proof Meghan gave birth to both kids. And honestly, after everything, we can't blame her.
She also clutched her belly at all times, which of course have ensured that nobody could touch her stomach or feel what was going on behind the hands that were shielding the belly. So if anybody had...
Darlings, with all this drama swirling around, it's no surprise that it's reportedly putting some serious strain on Meghan and Harry's marriage. According to a palace insider, Meghan is absolutely livid over the non-stop rumor. And let me tell you, she's not just mad. She's raging. The insider says she's fuming over Lady Colin Campbell's comments, threatening legal action and blaming Harry for not protecting their so-called privacy better. Can you imagine the arguments behind closed doors? The source didn't sugarcoat it, saying their marriage is hanging by a thread, that this scandal could be the straw that breaks the royal camel's back. Oof. But honestly, what really made this whole situation spiral out of control wasn't just the secrecy. It was how they handled things once the public started demanding answers. Instead of clearing the air, they stayed silent. Instead of offering explanations, they gave us confusing, contradicting statements. Their go-to excuse for everything? Privacy. That one word over and over. But guess what? That didn't calm anyone down. It just made people more suspicious. And then, boom, the Oprah interview happened.
Then came the infamous Oprah interview.
Meghan trashed them from a great height on Oprah Winfrey and the Netflix series.
Now, Meghan never came out and said there was some grand conspiracy. But, oh boy, the way she told her story, it had everyone's head spinning, especially when she suggested that Archie didn't get a royal title because of his race, that the palace made that choice due to his mixed background. Cue the media firestorm. People were furious. Accusations of racism, royal betrayal, it dominated headlines. But here's the thing no one likes to mention. By royal tradition, only the grandchildren of the reigning monarch automatically get titles like prince or princess. And at the time, Archie was Queen Elizabeth's great-grandchild. He wasn't technically eligible yet, unless the Queen made an exception. Still, Meghan and Harry let the race narrative linger. They didn't clarify, they didn't correct the record, they let the world believe the worst and maybe even wanted that. They painted themselves as victims of this cold, outdated, racist institution. And sure, maybe some parts of that were true, but darling, if everything else had been handled transparently, maybe more people would have believed them. But the timeline was already messy. The decision's already shady. Even Archie's birth certificate became part of the mystery. When it finally came out late, by the way, people noticed something weird. No doctor's signature. Doesn't seem like a big deal? Think again. For royal births, those signatures are a tradition. It's like an official stamp saying, yes, this happened exactly as we said. The fact that Archie's was missing just made everything feel even more off. Another red flag. Another piece of the puzzle that didn't quite fit. And here's where people really started losing trust. When the questions piled up, Meghan and Harry didn't try to answer them. They didn't explain the bizarre press releases or the weird timeline or the missing names on the paperwork. Nope. They kept repeating privacy like that was supposed to be the magic word to shut everyone up. But baby, it had the opposite effect. Instead of cooling things down, it made people even more curious. And then, bam, that Oprah interview dropped like a bomb. Meghan didn't directly say there was a conspiracy, but she heavily implied that Archie was denied a prince title because of his race. It was headline gold. But it was misleading. Royal rules are clear. Only grandchildren of the reigning monarch get those titles automatically. Meghan and Harry knew that, but let the public believe otherwise. And the confusion didn't end there. Even Archie's birth time was a mess. Some said 226 IEM, others claimed 526. For a royal baby, that's a weird thing to get wrong.
I was seeing all of these pictures of this alleged moon bump and pillows dropping underneath the skirt and hoses hanging out of the skirt, and heard about the Mayhew Clinic and saw pictures of her bending down allegedly at 8 months with her knees all the way to her chest in high heels. Now, I don't know.
Add in the late press updates, sketchy details, and shifting stories, and suddenly it felt less like a family milestone and more like a PR production. By the time they showed Archie at Windsor Castle, people were already suspicious. The moment felt stiff, overly staged, and Archie was swaddled so tightly you could barely see him. Fans whispered, "What are they hiding?" As time passed, the curiosity turned into frustration. Meghan and Harry had so many chances to be honest, but instead they doubled down. Same stories, same claims. The Netflix series, more of the same. Pressure, racism, victimhood, and cracks started to show. Timelines didn't match. Facts shifted. Insiders even said Meghan chose not to take part in the royal photo op, but later claimed she wasn't invited. That rubbed people the wrong way. The title drama, again, Archie wasn't eligible yet, and Meghan and Harry didn't even ask for an exception, but they used it to fuel their narrative. What could have been a fresh, personal choice ended up feeling like a carefully crafted media play. And baby, it backfired. The surrogacy rumors never went away. Between the secrecy, the missing details, and the perfect appearances, it all just looked too controlled. Maybe it's all innocent, but Meghan staying silent made it look worse. The real tragedy? This was supposed to be the happiest time of their lives. Instead, it turned into full-time damage control. By trying to control the narrative, they lost public trust. And no matter what they say now, the question still lingers. What really happened behind palace doors? And maybe we'll never know.